And tonight, SLED is investigating an officer-involved shooting in Lawrence County.
Tonight, Fox Carolina's Zach Proletsky joins us in the studio breaking down the latest information.
The Lawrence County Sheriff's Office says a man is in custody and is being treated for injuries after pointing a rifle at a deputy. This all happened between 11:30 and 12:30 this afternoon near Satterwhite Road and Smolin Drive. We've mapped out where this is for you. It's about 2 miles south of downtown Lawrence. Now, the Lawrence County Sheriff's Office says deputies were investigating reports of stray bullets being fired into empty homes over the last few days. Investigators questioning a man who they believe to be involved in those shootings, but instead deputies say that man ran into the woods with a rifle and handgun. Deputies set up a perimeter, requesting train traffic nearby to stop while they search for the suspect. Deputies say the man, who has not been identified yet, ran into a clearing, then pointed a rifle at a deputy. We're told the deputy, quote, defended themselves, but investigators are not confirming that deputy fired shots. Now, this is the second officer-involved shooting in less than 24 hours here in the Upstate. Last night, what started as a traffic stop ended in a deadly shootout. South Carolina Highway Patrol says one of its troopers attempted to pull over 36-year-old Brian Shumway for a broken headlight in Greenville County. Troopers say Shumway would not pull over, leading them on a chase ending on Pace Bridge Road just over the county line in Pickens County. SLED says Shumway crashed into an embankment before getting into a shootout with the trooper. Shumway was pronounced dead on the scene. Tonight, Highway Patrol confirms its trooper was not hurt. And SLED continues to investigate both of these incidents, the 28th and 29th officer-involved shootings in South Carolina this year. When we learn more information about either of these cases, we'll update you both on air and on foxcarolina.com. For now reporting, I'm Zach Proletsky, Fox Carolina News.
Thanks, Zach. Yeah, like you mentioned, the 28th and 29th shootings involving law enforcement this year in South Carolina. But we wondered how this year compares to last year.
According to records from the State Law Enforcement Division, last year there were a total of 32 across 18 counties. And we tallied up the numbers. We found Spartanburg County had the most with 4. They've also had 4 so far this year. Now, in 2021, there were 40 officer-involved shootings across the state. Today's shooting is the second in Lawrence County just this year. We talked with a spokesperson from SLED today, and she explained included in this year's total officer-involved shooting numbers, there are 2 incidents they did not investigate. One where a SLED agent fired the gun, so a different agency would investigate, and another in Richland County. She says they were not asked to investigate that shooting.